right, good morning, everyone. Should we get started? All right. Well, welcome. Marissa, did you want to start us off?
Yeah, of course. Good morning, everybody. I'm Marissa Munoz. I'm an intern with ConnectOC. And for anyone that doesn't know, and just to recap, ConnectOC is a coalition dedicated to increasing accessibility to mental health services for Orange County transitional age youth and young adults. Sometimes we refer to them as TAY or YA, and their families by networking them to local community mental health resources. If you want to find out more, including resources, events, and how to get involved, you can go to connectoc.org. The ConnectOC Coalition is funded by the Orange County Healthcare Agency, Behavioral Health Services, Prevention and Intervention through the Mental Health Services Act/Prop 63. Today, we're really honored to be partnering with Straight Talk Counseling. Andrea, Carly, and Melanie, would you each take some time to introduce yourselves? From there, we'll go ahead and dive into today's workshop.
Hello, everyone. I am Carly Rutledge. I am an MFT trainee at Straight Talk Counseling. I have been with Straight Talk for about a year now, and I am just finishing up my master's to go on to get the process of licensing to become a licensed marriage and family therapist.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Andrea. I have just started at Straight Talk, been there for a little over a month now. Like Carly, I'm working on my master's currently in clinical psychology in order to be licensed as a marriage and family therapist.
Hi, everyone. I'm Melanie Castillo, and I'm the supervisor at Straight Talk. I oversee the therapists there that are training to become full-time therapists. I've been there for about a year and a half, and I invite all of you to check out our website. And basically, our clinic wants to provide mental health services for everyone, and we work with a sliding scale. So depending on what your income level is, we can provide services. We try to just work with everyone's income level. We want everyone to have mental health services. So please check out our website and give us a call.
And with that, we'll go ahead and jump into our discussion for today. Today, we want to talk a little bit about building mental wellness and what that can look like. What are some goals that we can work on in this new year, and how we can work on achieving those goals and sticking with them even when it gets hard. So Carly and I and Melanie have put together a little bit of a presentation, but we really want it to be an open discussion. So as we're going through our little PowerPoint here, please feel free to put any questions or comments in the chat. You can feel free to ask throughout. We are hoping to have an open discussion here, so we will ask for participation. So be ready to unmute yourselves to be able to jump in and give feedback or to ask questions, because we really want this to be a collaborative effort between all of us. But with that, I will hand it over to Carly to talk a little bit about what we want to cover today.
All right, thank you, Andrea. So pretty much with building mental wellness, essentially with the new year comes New Year's resolutions, as I'm sure you've all heard of. Everyone loves to have those New Year's resolutions and goals that they kind of set for themselves going into the new year. Some of those can be, of course, related to mental health. Essentially with these mental health resolutions, we want to kind of help you guys understand what kind of those look like, and then also how to make them and maintain them as well. So some common mental health resolutions for everyone in the world include these here. It can be incorporating some meditation and yoga, which is kind of more of that like mental mindfulness and things like that, seeing family and friends, so that social interaction, hobbies and activities, so that kind of personal self-care, things you can do to make yourself feel good and feel happy. Scheduling self-care, so that can kind of tie into hobbies, activities, and kind of all the other resolutions as well. Just making sure that you're finding time for yourself if you have a busy schedule with school, work, all sorts of things. Physical well-being, so exercise is proven to be really good for your mental health, really good for your mental well-being. That can be something simple like, walking around the block. It can be more strenuous if you prefer. So things like surfing, all these kinds of creative activities can be helpful for your physical well-being. And then of course, seeking help and starting therapy if there is anything, anxiety, depression that might be causing a little bit more distress in your life that might be helpful to see a professional for. So first thing today, what we kind of wanted to do to start out talking about these kinds of mental health goals, mental health resolutions, we wanted to kind of start with a brief guided meditation. I'm going to hand this over to Melanie. She is our meditation queen, and she's really good at kind of leading us in group supervision sometimes with some meditations. So pass the baton to Melanie, and I hope you guys enjoy.
Oh, that was a lot of pressure. So if everybody could, I want to get some feedback to see what direction we should go in for the mindful meditation. So either in the chat or unmute yourself. What are you struggling most with right now? Is it work stress, feeling lonely, motivation? Oh, I hear ya. Okay. So motivation, not being able to sleep, busyness and distraction. Okay, good. When I say good, I mean that's not good, but thank you for participating. Anybody else have what you're struggling with the most right now? Unwinding, okay. I can understand that. So basically it's kind of being able to get away in your own mind and not be worrying about everything. Lack of a functional gym, okay. Okay, so the great thing about meditation is you can do it anywhere and no one has to know that you're doing it. So a lot of times I can do it in the car, I can do it at work, and no one knows what I'm doing. So feel free to do it. You don't have to make a big spectacle. You don't have to light candles and incense, although that's nice to do that at home, but you can do it wherever if you're needing kind of that mental getaway. So what I'm going to ask everybody to do is close your eyes if you feel comfortable. I'm going to do the same. And just breathe in, breathe out, and just relax your body. And just let yourself know that right now is a time for you. Right now, I don't have to worry about anything. Right now, I'm only concerned about myself. And it's okay if your mind gets distracted. You just bring it back and tell yourself, right now, I need this. I deserve to take care of myself. And what I want you to do is I want you to focus on a peaceful place. That could be a different place for anybody. It could be the beach, the forest, a meadow, a farm, whatever makes you feel at peace. And I want you to picture yourself walking through your peaceful place. And you're feeling safe. And you're feeling relaxed. And you're feeling comfortable. And as you're walking through your peaceful place, you notice that you're calm. You have no worries. You don't have to be anywhere. You can feel the sunlight on you. And again, you know that you are at peace, you're comfortable, and you're safe. And up ahead, I want you to picture a beautiful building. It might be a castle or a barn or a log cabin, whatever comes to mind for you. And I want you to walk towards that building. And you're feeling comfortable and you're feeling at ease. And you feel the ground beneath your feet. And you feel the sunlight on your head. You just feel really comfortable. And you finally get to the building. And you walk inside. And it's very inviting and warm and safe. And you see an envelope with your name on it. And you go over to the envelope and you pick it up. And you open it. And inside it says, everything is going to be okay. You're going to be okay. And you feel an overwhelming feeling of calmness and assurance that you're okay. You take that paper with you and you leave the building and you're thankful for that message. And you know that when you get stressed or overwhelmed, you can remember that message, that everything is going to be okay. You're going to be okay. And continue walking through whatever safe place you imagined. Your meadow, your farm, your forest. Continue walking through until you're ready to come back to your life. Knowing that at any time you can visit there again. And you want to thank the message. You want to thank your brain for allowing you to visualize this. You want to thank your body for being calm and relaxed. And you take one look back and you look at the beautiful view and you know that you'll be back. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back into your life. I feel much calmer. I don't know about you guys, but that helped me. Any thoughts on that? Was it difficult for anybody? Were you able to imagine where you were? Did anybody have a forest? You had a forest? Oh, good. I kind of had like a combination of forest and meadow. Okay, thank you everyone for doing that with me. I actually like to lead meditations more than just doing them by myself because it really makes me calm down and focus. So I appreciate that. Okay, I'm going to hand it back over to Carly.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate that, Melanie.
Mhm.
Okay, so I believe, let's see. I'm actually going to hand this one over to Andrea. And I talk to you guys more about how to stay connected with family and friends. There we go.
Awesome. Thank you, Melanie, for that meditation. I feel so much
Yeah.
more calm and grounded. Thank you
Good.
very much. But we want to talk a little bit about how we can stay connected. Because one important thing about maintaining mental wellness is being connected and having strong supportive connections in our lives versus being isolated, which with everything that's been going on over this past year, it's too easy to become isolated and stay on our own, staying at home, having to be away from people that we normally were interacting with on a regular basis. Right. So we wanted to talk a little bit about how we can still stay connected with family and friends, even when we have to stay at home. Right. Some of us are lucky enough to be able to see somebody maybe at like a social distance sort of picnic kind of a thing, but some other people have to stay at home. So what are things that we can use? These are things that you guys have already been using, right? Right now we're using Zoom, right? And other things, FaceTime, Google Meet, Facebook Messenger, Discord's a big thing right now. And I'm sure there's a million other things, but we wanted to just give some examples that there's still ways to be able to talk with our friends and family, still ways to be able to connect and to have deep connections, right? And I wanted to talk a little some ideas of some things that I've been doing personally to stay connected with people and just some ideas of different things we can do. Because I don't know about you, but I can only have so many FaceTime calls where just like, how are you doing? Good. How are you doing? So one thing's a game night, right? What I think one big thing right now, or I don't know, maybe I'm a little older. I don't know if people are still playing Among Us. I am still playing Among Us, and I have tons of fun going on Zoom with my friends, just trying to figure out who's the imposter. Among Us is a big game right now, but there's lots of games that we can play. I know I've played, there's online, you name it, online Monopoly, online Uno, online chess, online whatever it is, you can find it. And usually you can find it for free, which is, I know, something that I look for, right? That's something that we can do with people. Game nights. Movie watch parties have been a big thing. They're pretty much, I think, on every streaming site now. Like you can do it with Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, you name it. You can't really do it so much on like Zoom, but sometimes if you like already own the movie, right, you can put in, well, I don't know if people still use like, I was gonna say a DVD. I still use DVDs. I don't know if people still use that. But and then you can share your screen kind of like we're doing now. And that's a way to have movie night with people that you may not be able to see, right? Virtual escape rooms, that's something that I've tried recently, which is super fun. There's free ones that you can do. There's also ones that you can pay for. I know I did one with some friends where it's kind of like they'll have you pay to be on a Zoom call and someone will be in a physical escape room and you're kind of walking them through the room and telling them what to open, when to look at, what code to put in a lock, etc. It's a lot of fun. I did one that's in Canada and I would never be able to do that if it wasn't for Zoom. But that's an idea of something new that we can try. Follow along tutorials. So you name it, there's a YouTube video for it, right? I know something I've been doing a lot with friends is like paint nights where we'll follow along to like a Bob Ross tutorial. Of course, it takes Bob Ross 20 minutes. It takes us 4 hours to do the same thing, but it's a lot of fun, something that you can do with friends virtually. There's cooking classes you can follow, kind of goes into like the virtual hobby classes. There's lots of classes you can do, exercise classes together. And it doesn't necessarily have to be real classes that you enroll in. If one of your friends is really good at yoga and she wants to lead a little Zoom class for you and your friend group. Maybe someone else is a great cook or a great baker. One of your friends is a great painter. It's a great thing. I know one thing I've been seeing a lot of are like those PowerPoint presentation nights where everybody in the group gets to make a PowerPoint on whatever they want and everyone gives them their 10 minutes of attention. That's been a lot of fun that I've done. I've learned a lot of new things that I never thought I would learn if it wasn't for those PowerPoint presentation nights. But we just want to throw in some fun things of what are things that we can do that are creative that go just beyond like a Zoom call just to hang out and talk, just things that you can do together. But I wanted to open it up for a little bit of discussion of have anybody maybe tried some of these things? Does anyone have other things that they've been doing with friends and family virtually? I wanted to open up. You guys can feel free to put it in the group, in the little chat. You can feel free to unmute yourself. Anything that you guys want to throw out there.
Well, I know no one probably wants to visualize this, but I've been doing videos on different dances, how to dance. So like salsa or hip hop, it's hilarious for the family to watch, but super fun.
Mm-hmm. Dance parties, that's something I haven't quite done that yet with my friends. I don't know if I want my friends to know me like that, but dance parties is something that's a big thing right now too. Anyone else, has anyone else tried anything maybe that I didn't mention? I am seeing some stuff in the chat. I'm glad you guys like the ideas. Recently had a game night. Okay, what are some games you guys
What
are
game?
playing?
What game did you
Yeah.
play,
Because I
Jocelyn?
know I've done like Among Us. I found like an online mafia type of game. I've done things like that. Jackbox TV. I've never
What's
heard.
Jackbox?
What's Jackbox?
I don't know what Among Us is either. I'll have to look into it.
Among Us is kind of
virtual world potluck?
Oh,
Hold on, what is
that's fun.
that?
That might be-
Everyone makes a different food.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. I love that.
Oh, they have a background to the different country and made food from that country. Oh my God, that is so great.
That's
The-
really
People are getting so creative. Like generally everyone like, oh, I went out to dinner and a movie, but it just seems like people are just getting outside their comfort zone. That's so awesome.
Mhm. Yeah.
Exposed.
I've
Jocelyn
never
is
heard-
exposed a game.
Oh,
Yeah, it is a game.
yeah.
Okay. And it's fun.
Um,
Exposed, that's what it's called.
Yeah, so we just like randomly just ask questions, for example, like funny questions or stuff like that. For example,
Uh-huh.
like, have you ever, I don't know, trying to think, because we were doing this yesterday, but for example, like, who drank like 2 cups of coffee today or more? And then you have to turn on your camera,
Uh-huh.
like exposing yourself. It's pretty
Oh, wow.
and then sometimes we like just share stories. But yeah.
I like
That's
that.
so cool. God, people are so creative.
Yes, people are getting creative. Oh, you can go ahead and Carly. We're going to talk a little bit about some stuff that we're going to do, other things that you can do, because we do want to keep in mind that life looks a lot different now than it has in the past. So we tried to put together topics that are relevant to like the COVID-19 era that we're in. Another thing that I realized I forgot to mention in the beginning really quick before we go on to Carly is that we would highly encourage everybody to take notes throughout the presentation because there may or may not be a trivia question at the end. And something that we wanted to do is to give away a free therapy session to whoever gets the question right at the end. So keep that in mind. Maybe be taking some notes and writing things down because that's something that we want to do at the end. But with that, I'll hand it over to Carly to talk a little bit more.
I'm gonna check out the Jackbox TV. I've never heard of that, but I'll look into it.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for that. That really made me excited to do something different. Okay, I'll mute myself now.
Okay, so next we got hobbies and activities. These are kind of some activities that you can do for yourself and kind of building off of what Andrea was talking about. A lot of these you can find online, do it yourself videos, tutorials. I feel like I've even seen, I think one of my cousins at Thanksgiving was telling us that she learned how to knit on YouTube during the quarantine. So that was a really cool little fun fact that she shared with us. And I thought that was neat. But these are, again, just some hobbies and activities that a lot of times, if you kind of play around a little bit, figure out what you like the most, can bring you a lot of happiness and joy, and along with that, mental wellness. So these are just some really great examples. I know for me, music is a big one. If I'm feeling like I'm having a bad day, I'm super stressed, my first go-to is to sit in my car, go for a drive, turn on my music, sing not very good at the top of my lungs, and just kind of like belt it out. It's a nice kind of way to release any tension, things like that. A lot of times that's kind of what hobbies are really good for, is having something that you know you enjoy and that you can kind of dedicate some of your day to. Along with that, I know a lot of people love to do, some people are really good at art. I am not good at art, but again, that's another one that people love. Cooking, gardening, along with cooking, baking. I do love baking. One of the ones me and Andrea were talking about, I thought was really neat, was do it yourself home projects. So I don't know about any of you guys, I might be a little old. Pinterest is way cool. I love Pinterest. I love finding do it yourself little activities. Whether it be redecorating your room, turning an old piece of furniture into something cool, new and creative, repainting your room, all sorts of little things that can kind of get you out of maybe a funk or kind of lift your spirits if you're feeling down. Lastly, of course, kind of joining a club, which is really cool idea as well. And that can be, I know right now they have a lot of virtual clubs going on, whether it's with the community, with your school. And those can be really helpful, and even igniting that kind of social interaction. It's really good for your mental wellness as well, staying connected. I think I've seen like a virtual book club where they meet together. They kind of will bring a book for the week, almost as if you were meeting in person. But of course, like Andrea was saying, these crazy times we're in kind of have to be a little bit more virtual these days. So I thought that was a really neat activity as well, like a virtual book club. Wanting to kind of a little bit open up discussion as well. You guys can comment in the chat box if you have any hobbies that maybe you picked up during quarantine, or things you've been like wanting to try but just really haven't gotten around to it yet. I know like Michael's is a good place to go to find some good hobbies. But yeah, so let us know if you guys have any like cool hobbies you maybe started in quarantine, things you want to, jewelry making. Ooh, Melanie. Painting, love painting. Have you ever done painting by numbers, Jocelyn? Because that's one of my favorites. Home decor. Ooh, roller skating.
Reupholster. Oh my gosh. You guys are advanced.
Roller skating. That roller skating stood out to me. I was like, that's some hard stuff. Like you get really tired.
Yeah, it's really fun though, when you get past feeling like a baby deer and like falling over, you know?
Yeah. You like to do it any place specific, like the beach, I know is a big one for roller skating.
I started off just doing it at parks, and now a lot of my friends are really into roller skating at skate parks. So I'm venturing in there, but I'm not as good as them, but I try.
That's cool. I love that. That's a good idea. Ooh, writing poetry. That's
Jeez, people are talented.
a book club. Yes, I love that. Ooh, well, people from around the world. That's really cool too.
Start making mosaics. Oh my gosh. Virtual book club. Okay, good.
Now,
That's awesome.
with like glass mosaics, is that kind of what, or is that like I know what mosaics are, but there's like different ways to do mosaics, like different avenues of art to make mosaics.
So I bought like a bunch of glass and I've actually broken it up. So I could just like, it's like you're making your own puzzle in a way where you're fitting pieces in and everything, and using like acrylic boxes or like even just a random box around your house, and just using a lot of recycled products as well and making something really cool.
Nice. That's really neat.
Do you have a sample that you can show us that's right near you?
It's not near me right now, but I started doing something on a canvas that I was really using, and I started gluing the random pieces of glass on it and incorporating like paint with it as well.
That's cool.
That sounds amazing.
Well, thank you guys for sharing. I love
And your own poetry and short stories. Oh my gosh, you guys, that's
impressive. This is an impressive group. You guys have some great
yeah.
talent. Love it. All right, so moving forward, I'm going to pass this one along to Andrea, and she's going to tell you how to find time for self-care.
Okay, so we wanted to put this slide in here because we recognize that while we might want to do all of these things that we've just talked about, we might not have 24/7 available to do these things, right? So we wanted to brainstorm a little bit about how we can find time for self-care, even in the midst of busy schedules. Sometimes we have work or class, or we have, family that we have to take care of, et cetera, et cetera. Right. So here's just like a few ideas that we kind of brainstormed together on. For example, if you know that you need to go to the grocery store already, instead of driving there, make it a walk if you live close enough to one. That's a way to get you out, out in the sun. It's a way to get you moving and physical, but you're still getting the things done that you need to get done, right? Same thing with walking your dog. If you're going to walk your dog anyways, you can FaceTime a friend while you walk. So that way you're still able to stay connected with people while you're being active. If you have a long Zoom meeting that you need to be on, or a long Zoom class, I know for me, classes are 3 hours long. I like to take my laptop and go sit outside in my backyard, right? That's something that I never even occurred to me until someone gave me the idea. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm allowed to go wherever I want for a Zoom class. I don't have to be in my room. I can go sit outside. It's a way for me to get out in the sun and just to breathe some fresh air and just get out of this spot that I'm in 24/7 on Zoom calls nonstop, pretty much. And then as far as incorporating some meditation, kind of how we did with Melanie earlier, sometimes we only have, I know for me, I'll have back-to-back meetings, and I often only have a few minutes in between. You can do a little 3-minute meditation, and that can make a huge difference in how you're feeling going into your next meeting, right? Or going into class. Just taking those few minutes. I know I have classes where the professors will start off class with a little guided meditation, usually about 5 minutes long, and it makes the hugest difference. And for me to be able to focus on my class and actually be centered and grounded, and leaving behind any anxiety that I might have been coming into class with, right? So that's a great way that we can kind of incorporate self-care in that way. But I wanted to open and see if anyone else has some creative ideas or ways that they've been incorporating self-care, even with a busy schedule. I'm thinking if I can think of any other ones. I feel like one big one for me is incorporating a bath instead of a shower at least once a week, so I can just sort of relax with like bath salts and just, like breathe. I feel like that's like the only me time I really get. But does anyone else have any creative ways that they've been able to incorporate self-care into their schedule? Okay, there you go. See, walking the dog's a good time. It's done. Yes, skincare routines. We will be coming back to that in a minute, but that is a big one. Taking your time with skincare, journaling with friends on FaceTime. Yes, face mask. You can get a lot of things done while you have a face mask on. Gym and TV time. Yes, that is literally the only way I can get myself to exercise is if I'm watching something. Then I can just trick myself into thinking I'm not really
Yeah.
exercising.
Makes time pass by way faster. And
Yes, that is a
well,
good.
I'm like, it's a reward. I only watch this show when I go to the gym. So I'm only going to the gym today because I want to know what happens, or something.
Yeah, but
Good way
Marissa, you're roller skating, so you don't need to go to the gym.
Good way to keep yourself motivated, going on walks after studying. Yes, these are all great ideas. And I think these are definitely like some of them that I hadn't thought of. So I definitely will be incorporating that. But thank you guys for giving up some idea. I feel like we're all getting really great ideas that maybe we hadn't thought of before. And that was kind of the hope of today, is to have this open discussion so that we could do that. But with that, I'm going to hand it to Carly. She can go over our next topic.
All right. So this kind of builds off of some of the stuff we've already talked about. But another kind of category of mental wellness is going to be your physical well-being. This can include so many different things. I think oftentimes we think exercise is like kind of the only thing we can do physically for ourselves, but there's a lot of different ways to get that physical well-being. It involves the food you put in your body, it involves the sleep you get, it involves, even like I think someone was mentioning like skincare routines, just being able to do something to make your physical being feel satisfied, feel happy, and feel well. So these are just some ideas for that as well. New hiking trails, virtual exercise classes. I personally go to Orange Theory and we have online classes that are really fun. And then I know like a lot of places too also have some online classes that are cool too. Even just YouTube has some workouts you can look up if you have any like people you follow on Instagram, they're like influencers, fitness influencers, they'll have like YouTube videos of exercises. Yoga, I really love yoga. It's kind of a very centering exercise, right? And maybe not as much that exertion exercise, but again, you're still getting that physical well-being from doing that. Bike rides / rollerblading. I was gonna say, a lot of people, oh, we should add that in there. Skincare, trying new healthy recipes, and of course that sleep routine. A lot of times when we're busy, we're stressed, we don't sleep as well, or we kind of take away from our sleep time to do like work or do anything that we might have not been able to get done during the day, but just placing importance on that sleep routine, because definitely when we don't get enough sleep, it makes that anxiety, that stress, that mental well-being worse than if we were to get those, maybe, I think, what is it they say, like 7 to 9 hours, possibly even more, 8. I think 8's the like goal, but don't we all shoot for that goal? But yeah, sleep is really important for our physical well-being as well as our mental well-being. They kind of play hand in hand, that mind-body connection. For the sake of time, I know I wanted to kind of go to the next slide because we kind of talked a little bit about these as well. But if you guys have any comments on each slide, just let us know. All right, Andrea, if you want to start, we're going to kind of pass it on to Andrea to do some resources that are important in our community.
Yes. So we wanted to talk a little bit about seeking help and some resources for you to be able to do that. Kind of like Carly mentioned at the beginning, sometimes we might need a little bit of extra support if we are struggling with a bit more of mental health issues, maybe with anxiety, depression, etc. Just needing support in general. We wanted to provide a few resources for you guys. So we'd encourage you, please, to maybe write them down, add them into your phone contacts. This is one of them. The first one we want to give, this is the National Alliance on Mental Health. The phone number is listed here. And it's just essentially, it's a free helpline that you can call where they can give you additional resource referrals. They'll talk to you so that they can see what kind of help might be most beneficial for you. And what's really cool is it's supporting not just people with mental health conditions, but also family members and caregivers. So if you know somebody that's maybe at least struggling right now or is dealing with mental health issues, you can call to see what sort of resources you might be able to give to them as a suggestion. Because a lot of times it might be hard for us ourselves to reach out. A friend or family member is there with us, that can make the hugest difference in the world. So this is one resource. We'll leave it on for a second so that if you guys want to write this down, you could always, stuff that's available online, you can Google, but here's their website as well, that will just give some resources. So we'll leave it on for a minute so you guys can take that down. And then I saw Melanie mentioning, yeah, so they also have groups and classes. The resources are free, which is my favorite word, free. So the support is out there. It's just knowing where to go. So we wanted to have these resources for you so that you could know that there are places to go where you can find this support in groups, in classes, things like that, that are available for free to you. But if you want to go to the next slide, Carly, if you want to explain that one.
So this next resource is really helpful, I know, for maybe some of the younger generation or people that aren't really as comfortable talking to someone over the phone. Of course, when we're having a rough time, it might be hard to kind of share verbally what we're going through. It might be easier for some people to write it out, type it out. Sometimes easier to express yourself that way. So this is the crisis text line. This is, again, that connects you with a crisis counselor who can help you through the crisis, or also be able to assist you with some resources, recommendations of help you might be able to get as well. And again, this is free. Of course, Andrea's favorite word and my favorite word as well. I think everyone's favorite word, free. And this is, again, available everywhere 24/7. So if you were interested in writing that down, we'll give you guys a minute to write that down as well. I know, again, this is very helpful for people that maybe have a hard time verbally expressing what they're going through. So it's a good resource to have. All right. Is that too quick? Sorry. Every time
I think David's helping us out a little bit in the chat and putting some of the links. So even if we pass them, they should be in the chat as well.
Perfect. All right.
Cool. Next one, Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. So this one, they also have a national helpline. It's available 24/7, free, and it's confidential. I know a lot of times, a lot of what deters people from seeking out help is they're not quite ready to, they don't know if that'll be confidential or if other people might find out. What's great about these hotlines is they are confidential. This one is available in English and Spanish, and they, again, are to help support not just individuals facing mental health challenges, but also their family members as well, and substance use disorders. So they do provide referrals if you need local treatment facilities, any support groups, other organizations that are near you. They'll be able to help you if you give them a call. You can also go on their website as well, and you should be able to find the resources that they have available to you all. And thank you, David, for putting all of it in the chat. Very helpful. But we'll leave this for a minute if you guys want to write down the number.
All right. So the next one we have resource is going to be the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. This is a very common lifeline for people to use, especially if they're feeling suicidal. You or someone you know, right? You can always call and talk to a counselor if you have a family member or significant other that's, feeling suicidal and is expressing that to you. If maybe they don't feel comfortable calling, you can sit with them, make the call. But of course, if you are feeling suicidal as well, this is a good kind of number to call. We have the number there, and we also have the Spanish line as well. So this, of course, is offered in Spanish and English. The website, it's also available 24/7. And essentially, I'm blanking, well, I'm not reading. So again, you can also use their website that's provided here to learn more about the signs of suicide. So say you are a loved one of someone that you're concerned about, you can kind of use that to be able to kind of gauge the situation and kind of be more aware of kind of what to look out for, and maybe how to also be able to help those people as well. So being able to support them and how to get the help available for them. And we'll leave this up for
Just a quick comment on that. This is a good one, the Suicide Prevention Lifeline. They're all great to do this, but it's a good one to save in your phone, in case something comes up for yourself or for someone you care about. And coming down the line, I think T-Mobile and Sprint are already doing this, but soon it's going to be all the different mobile carriers. But dialing 988 will take you, kind of like 911, but 988 will take you to the Suicide Prevention Lifeline.
That's neat. I did not know that. That's really cool. Thank you, David. All right. And last but not least, go ahead, Andrea.
All right. The last resource we wanted to leave for you all is our clinic, Straight Talk Clinic. So Melanie talked a little bit about it in the beginning, but we wanted to leave our information here. Again, our goal as a clinic is to be able to provide affordable mental health services, because we never want finances to be a reason why you can't get the help that you need. So we do offer unlimited teletherapy sessions right now. All of our sessions are on telehealth. So kind of just like how we're doing right now. We do offer individuals, couples, and family counseling. So if any of those, if you wanted to come in for help for yourself, if you're having a hard time as a family, or you and your significant other want to come in, we would be more than willing to help. And what's really cool, like Melanie mentioned, we do offer a sliding scale based on income, again, because we don't want finances to be what gets in the way of you getting the support that you need and the therapy that you need. So you don't have to have insurance. So you can feel free. This is the number that you would call, or you can, if you want to know a little bit more about our organization, you can go on our website to read a little bit about it. We even offer, one of the cool things we offer is in a support group, which is free. It's called the Emotional Brunch Club, Saturday mornings. That's something that's been a really awesome resource for people to be able to connect with one another and to talk about just how we've been coping with this whole pandemic situation that we've been in. It's a really great resource that's free and available for you. You can go on the website to ask a bit, to look for more information on that, or you can feel free to give us a call and we'd be more than willing to help you out with that. But we'll leave this here for a second. You guys want to write that down?
Hint, hint, this is a great resource to write down. All right. So we've kind of been talking a lot about some activities, some types of goals you can set in order to maintain your mental wellness. What we're kind of going to transition into now is just talking about what kind of goals you want to set for yourself and the best way to make those goals attainable and make sure that you're able to reach those goals, right? Because sometimes if we set a goal too big or too unrealistic, right, we might not be able to meet it. And that's when we maybe get down on ourselves and feel that we're stuck. So one way to kind of form some really productive goals is using this SMART acronym. Essentially what these mean is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, realistic, and time-oriented. So using this kind of breakdown, this acronym can be really helpful when you're setting your goals, either with the new year or honestly anytime during the year. Say you're going into a new job, you're going into a new exercise routine, being able to kind of break down those goals. And so they're not just big, one giant intimidating goal. So for example, if you're kind of thinking about like maybe exercise, a very good thing to kind of put in terms of the SMART goal would be, I want to exercise 2 days a week for 45 minutes each day for the next 2 weeks. Keeping it kind of time oriented, you're keeping it realistic, attainable, you can measure it, and it's very specific. That way, when you kind of go 2 weeks from now, you're able to look back and be like, okay, did I meet this goal that I had for myself? So that's just kind of my example. I wanted to kind of throw it out. You can put in the chat box, maybe a goal that you have in mind that you were like, okay, how can I measure this? Or how can I turn this into a SMART goal? Or if you need help turning it into a SMART goal, we are here to kind of assist in that as well. So kind of wanted to open the conversation there for a little bit. Open my chat box. Really helpful. Awesome. Good. So you've used SMART goals. Yay. Awesome. Heard of SMART goals. Love that. Eat 1 piece of fruit every day. Whew, yes, Melanie. That is a good one. I like that. Or even a vegetable, maybe a fruit and a vegetable. Kind of adding in different things as you go along. Absolutely. Let's not get crazy. Pushing it with the veggies, pushing it with the veggies. Fruit's better anyways. I'm not biased or anything.
Yeah, and if I could add in here, I think it's really important to be able to say that if you fall back one day, and you don't meet your goal, it's okay. Because I remember I was a huge gym rat and I loved going to the gym about a year ago, and I was doing it almost every single day and it was part of my routine. And then I fell out of it once the pandemic, hit, and I had school again, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to go anymore. It's fine. And then trying to get back into it is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. And then I would get down on myself like, I did this, I did that, never mind, it's not worth it, whatever, and then I'd get upset at myself because I would rather not do it at all than feel basically crappy because I didn't meet my goal. So now I'm like, if I don't go one day or if I don't eat perfect one day, it's okay. I'm still going to keep going. It's just important to remember we're human, we're going to make mistakes. And just because you fall back one day on your goal doesn't mean that you have to.
And then Andrea is going to talk about some obstacles to reaching your goals.
Yes. So we wanted to kind of add this slide to make it clear that self-care are activities that are healthy, right? If it's unhealthy, it's not self-care. So some things that might become obstacles to us reaching our goals and to being mentally healthy, having good mental health wellness, using mind-altering substances, mostly to like an excessive use, right? That's going to get in the way of us accomplishing goals of eating a veggie every day, eating veggies and fruits every day, or exercising, or whatever it is. That might oftentimes using mind-altering substances are going to take us off the track of our goals. Not taking breaks, not allowing ourselves to take even those 5 to 10 minute breaks in between whatever it is that we have going on in that day. Any risky behaviors, right? A lot of times I know people want to just get out of the house, or they want to just, do something different. But we do want to encourage to not engage in any risky behaviors. That can include a lot of different things, but anything that puts you or your mental health at risk or in danger, we want to abstain from that, because that's going to take us off track of reaching our goals. Negative self-talk. This is a big one, kind of like what Marissa was sharing, right? So oftentimes we don't have grace with ourselves and we're not kind to ourselves. We beat ourselves up for maybe not reaching our goals or not hitting them as quickly as we thought we would, or not being, I think right now, a big one is just a lot of people are not where they thought they would be a year or two ago, right? But just having that grace with ourselves. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in a second. Also having healthy eating habits, trying our best to not be overeating or undereating, but making sure that we're maintaining good eating habits that are healthy for us. And isolation is a big one that a lot of people get stuck in, especially now. But that's why we went over that slide about how we can stay connected with our friends and family, with one another, so we can build that supportive support system for ourselves. Because all of these things are only going to distract us and only deter us, take us off our path of reaching our goals. But we do want to shift into a little bit more positive note and talk about what we can do even when we might not hit our goals or might not be entirely on track. And I will pass that back to Carly.
All right. So kind of again, building off of what Marissa was saying, and as well, also building off of how to kind of maybe even some techniques to get out of those negative cycles, right? Those ways that maybe we aren't holding ourselves back from reaching those goals. So definitely one way, if you're feeling discouraged or defeated while kind of trying to reach your goals, there's this thing known as positive affirmations. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of those. I'm sure you probably have. They're very, very common. And kind of like, reaching goals and obtaining goals. And so building off of, again, like what Marissa said, being able to kind of give yourself that grace and being able to shift your thinking away from those negative thinking traps, right? Thinking, oh, I'm a failure, or I didn't reach my goal today, so I'm not going to keep trying to get to the end goal. Or, just kind of reinforcing those negative thoughts, instead being able to have those positive affirmations. An example of kind of how to implement this, and I do it sometimes in the morning when I wake up. I'll say it to myself in the mirror, right? Because sometimes, saying it to yourself, not really looking at yourself, might not help as much. But if you kind of look at yourself in the mirror, you say, I am undergoing a powerful transformation, or, I'm proud of everything I have achieved so far. You're kind of reinforcing yourself in that moment to keep going, and knowing that you are human and that you do have moments where you might not reach every goal you have, and that's okay. And then, of course, listed are some more examples. If you guys want to write some of these examples down, there's a multitude of ways that you can positively affirm yourself and kind of switch off that maybe negative thinking that gets you feeling discouraged or defeated. So I'll leave those up for just a second if you guys want to write any of those down. Ooh, Melanie, fall asleep saying positive affirmations. I love that. Reflection on your day. It's a good idea. Okay, so next I will pass this one back to Andrea. She will talk more about some gratitude journaling.
Yes, so here is another way that we can keep ourselves focused on the positive and not so much on the negative. And one great way to do that, that's pretty simple, is a gratitude journal, right? So just talking about things and reflecting on things that we can be thankful for and that we can be happy that we have in our lives. Right? We just put a different prompt examples here, like what's something that you're looking forward to. Mistakes and failures are we grateful for, right? What are we proud of that we've accomplished so far? Things like that, reflecting on all of the positive things in your life. That's really special to be able to reflect back on. But that's just one example we wanted to give you guys that isn't too difficult, doesn't take too much time, and helps us to sort of keep ourselves focused on the positive.
And if you guys do want a prompt, they have them on, sorry, David, they have them on Amazon. They have journals that have prompts, and they're gratitude journals. They're journals where, they're more funny. It's like, if something went bad today, write about how you're going to be nicer to yourself. I bought one a while ago and I've been slacking on it, but it's a cute way to, just sit down and carve out 5 minutes of my day to just write something down.
That's great. So I just want to say, I know we're arriving at the 12 o'clock hour. I know we're getting close to the end, so we invite everybody to stay on as we kind of wrap things up. But as we're doing that, I just wanted to share in the chat here, we have a survey. If you all wouldn't mind taking the time to complete that. It helps us make sure that the events we're offering are the best they can be. And so in addition, if you fill out the survey, we'll enter you into a raffle to possibly win an Amazon gift card. So just want to put that in there. It's there in the chat. And thank you all. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, David. So we've reached the end of our slide. We do want to have an open question and answer for you guys if you guys have any questions. But before we kind of go into that Q&A, we did want to get into our trivia time to kind of raffle off that free therapy session with Straight Talk. So we kind of hinted at some slides that we thought, ooh, you guys maybe wanted to write some things down. So what we're going to kind of do, we're going to have you guys, if you are interested in participating, use the chat box, type something up real quick, but don't press enter. I just want to make sure everyone has the ability to, when they have the answer, press enter. So give you a moment to kind of get that all ready and set. Have as something, it'll be kind of like your way of buzzing in, having that pressing enter with your comment. Okay. So with that question, our trivia question today is, what is the phone number for our clinic to reach out for therapy services? Drum roll. And that's okay. We have some other backup questions as well. So one that just kind of came to mind to me for someone who wants to buzz in. What is a SMART goal that you can maybe implement in your life? Tough questions. Tough crowd. Okay, no worries. Andrea, Melanie, done. Sarah, awesome. Do you want to come off mute? Give us a SMART goal that you can think of for your next couple of weeks or months.
I think maybe the done was in reference to the survey. So Claire had asked them to put done for the survey.
No worries.
But yeah, I had a feeling. Okay. Let's see. What if we ask a real simple question and whoever wants to put it in the chat?
I like Melanie's idea.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. If you
guys are interested in a free therapy session, you can definitely call our office. The number again is 714. What is it? Wow, now I'm blanking. Let me go back to the slide for you guys too, so you can have that.
I think Melanie has it in she put in the
chat. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Have that up too. But yes, thank you guys so much for allowing us to kind of present for you guys today. We had a lot of fun. Thank you guys for your participation. We appreciate the feedback and kind of the slides we had talking about. If you guys have any questions, we will definitely stick around. If you guys have any comments or anything like that, feedback, please let us know. And thank you so much for coming today. And if you have any questions, let us know.
Thank you again, everyone, for joining us. We again invite you all to fill out the survey. I've reposted it in the chat. And then, and if you don't get to it before we finish up, you can email us info@connect-oc.org when you've completed. And then visit connect-oc.org for more events like this. Thank you all again for joining. And thank you, Straight Talk, for the presentation. That was great. It was fantastic.
Thank you for having us.
Mhm.